Welcome back. Now we're going to start with the fight against corruption. It's, should I say, heartwarming that the United States government has agreed to assist Nigeria recover all identified ill-gotten wealth within the U.S. and from other nations where it has jurisdiction. The American government has also agreed to train Nigerian judicial staff and prosecutors as part of efforts to tackle corruption in Nigeria. And during the week, Nigeria was shocked by revelations in the Panama Papers. And these are things we're going to be looking at this morning, and how the corruption fight is going and how this new revelation will affect or is affecting the fight. It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Bisi Akinalabi, who is an administrator. Good morning. And we also have in the studio Professor Bolaji Owasan-Oye, Executive Secretary, Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we have the Managing Editor of Premium Times, who's also a member of the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, joining us from, actually, we don't know where, but he'll be joining us on Skype, and I'm talking about Mr. Mojid Musikilu. Now, let's begin with Dr. Akinalabi. How would you say that this fight against corruption is going?
I'm quite impressed by the tenacity and the focus of the present government to continue to fight corruption to its root. But having said that, we are not recording great success, as we all know, because of.
But you're impressed.
I'm impressed in the way they are continuing to press forward, but they are meeting a lot of block wall, mainly with our criminal justice system. The judiciary has been one of the biggest blockade to our progress in the fight to corruption. It is lamentable that even the senior advocates of Nigeria trying to become the president of the Nigeria Bar Association, Mahmood Abubakar, is actually seeking that office on the premise that is going to change the perception, the public perception of the public, of the judiciary, of our lawyers, because he said that 90% of the lawyers are perceived to be crooks. So what are we saying? We need our judiciary, which is the third arm of government, to be on top of this fight, to actually help us, because really a state derives all its stability, security on the enforcement of the rule of law. So basically the government is adamant, but government, the executive is not the judiciary. So basically we need all the three arms of government to support the executive. We cannot deny the fact that we all know the policy direction of the executive. We know their focus, and that is anti-corruption. They want to fight corruption. They want to establish all our systems, because if we don't fight corruption, we cannot really enjoy the gains of democracy, because corruption is anti-democracy. It undermines anything a well-meaning government is trying to do. So basically, we're making progress in the executive, but executive cannot veto a lot of things. Things have to evolve, and we all have to work together to ensure that we actually want this fight to go on. People are crying about all the other things that we lack in the environment. Yes, we lack all these things, but can we cast our mind back? What is the cause of all this? All the decay in our systems.
Doctor, don't you think that these corrupt practices are made easier because there are holes everywhere? The systems are not tight enough to prevent all this massive corruption that we see.
I also would like you to understand that change is a process. change is a process, and complex change, like the one we're going through in Nigeria now, takes time. As the government are fighting corruption, I am sure that the government have capable hands working behind the scenes. It will undermine the security and the stability of the state if everything the government wants to do is in the public domain.
Space, yeah.
So basically, I sincerely believe, because I know that the present government has capable hands in the people I've seen around him that are working tirelessly to ensure that things are done. We need to give them time because there are so many distractions. You need to understand that they are also, living in Nigeria. It's a Nigerian factor. They're living in Nigeria. Some committees may want to meet, and then there will be no fuel for the people to get to where they're going. It's affecting government people as well. Okay. So it's not just the people in the market or the people in the offices that are being affected. So
if I may come in here, we've been joined by Mr. Mojeed Musikilu, Managing Editor of Premium Times, member International Consortium of Investigative Journalism. Thank you for joining us. We understand we can't say where you are because for security reasons. But let's put this straight up to you. She's talked about the fact that this government seemed to be on course in the fight against corruption. But what's your take?
So far, it does appear.
Oh dear.
Are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
There is a lot to add about.
No, go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. So far, it does appear the government is committed to the fight against corruption. But so we can't really begin to say government has done well or it hasn't done well. I'm not aware of any conviction yet, so we just have to keep our fingers crossed. But one problem I've seen is the problem of capacity in the anti-graft agencies. I'm not convinced yet that we have quite enough detectives, capable detectives, who really know what they are doing. And I think government has to work on that. I agree that the judiciary appears to be much more concerned about fight against corruption. I can see that some judges are sitting day after day in order to conclude anti-corruption cases quickly. But government really has to do more than just taking court. Government has to create the environment that will reduce corruption in the country. People have to hang well. Government has to create jobs. Government has to, for instance, we wonder why in our airport today, to get into the airport, you have to pay cash. Who collect this cash and pocket a significant chunk of it. So there are lots of things that government has to do. For instance, if you live in Abuja, for instance, you observe the high rate of rent. A civil servant who earns 50,000 in months, how does he pay 500,000 a year on rent? Government has to address that. For as that government does not address all those kind of matters, there will continue to corruption in the country. So it's not enough to set up anti-corruption agencies, some advisory committees, be taking people to court every day. There has to be a holistic approach to corruption. And, corruption is widespread from the days from schools and everywhere. And government must devise a strategy to confront corruption. So cannot just be talking about it, about EFCC, about ICPC. Much better than that.
But let me go back to a bit of what you said at the beginning, something about not having enough detectives. For a country that has some leaders mentioned in the revelations from the Panama Papers, what is it exactly you expect that should be done in that kind of situation? When you say we don't have enough detectives, is it to go ahead and investigate this kind of matter? And would it have been possible without that revelation?
Well, now, yes, I know our just 6 zonal offices in the government. I don't know how many staff EFCC has together. Corruption is so endemic that it's too much on the ground than EFCC can do. Look, in my newspaper, I'm sure, and I'm sure even in Chakti, there are regulations of corruption. Every expose corruption. I can't remember any time that activity or EFCC has confided our own nation. To still look, we have read what you have published. Is there any we can work together to get to the end of this matter? That doesn't happen because I'm sure they are by the work they have at hand. So if we really, really wanted to tackle corruption, there is a good to do.
Okay.
This year, I actually get my colleagues to look at how much is budgeting for anti-corruption fight. And I realized that even though one of the cardinal program of this government is to check corruption, what they are putting into anti-corruption fight is not much significant, it's not much more different from what the Jonathan government came up